Hello everybody, Monkey D. Caleb here. I am just going to put out my own thoughts and opinions of the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It has been actually I think as of tomorrow at a month since the official release of the game for everybody. As far as early access, that was 2 days ago. So here are my thoughts after a month of playing this game. I have a lot of fun with it, a lot more than I thought I would have. What is it? Best things about the game too. The graphics obviously look great, stages are amazing, and the characters and the way the effects work is just so cool in what a Dragon Ball experience is. The way the online play is, though, is a bit of an issue. As far as, like, you can see, there's been a lot of connection issues for me and a lot of dropping of frames and graphics. I play on Steam, and you would think for people who have PCs like I do that they would have better connections, but there's a lot of times that their connections are dropping, or even sometimes mine, and mine's fully Ethernet with an amazing internet speed. I couldn't quote it right now, but it's one of like the top, I believe, like the top best speeds I could have in this area. So that's kind of my negative experience with the game. Favorite things I like to do though is like play as like Goku, Super Broly, Super Vegeta. The entire Super team is my DP team, and then as well as for singles, I wanted to get as high as possible. So I've used characters like Jiren, Ultra Instinct Goku, and Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4. But the main character that I main is base form Super Broly. He's just such a cool character, and I already uploaded a video of one of my battles with my team, and if you could see in there the way I use him, he just has so much utility with how he plays, how he can follow up on opponents. His greatest strength is his transformations, because with each transformation it restores all 5 of his key bars, and it's such a fun thing to do when you're fighting online. You're low on ki, you need to raise up the ki real quick so you can put more pressure on your opponents. You transform, and then not just that, but when Broly goes full power Super Saiyan mode, it's not called Legendary Super Saiyan, it's like full power Super Saiyan, he ends up regaining health to the equivalent of 1 health bar, and that also really helps when I'm fighting online in singles. So he can kind of keep up with the meta. The only unblockable he has is in his base form. Besides that, he pretty much plays like any other character in the game, has sparking, has a good utility. He has rush and blast moves, and then his final form is a super explosive wave. The coolest part about all 3 of his forms is they all do have like an instant surge for sparking mode. And the best part about that too is when you're in his final form using the surge at full power and then unleashing an ultimate on your enemy or any of the supers on them. But then if you have another surge immediately after, people get panicky online and they'll try to rush you. So you get to use the surge, or at least if you have full 4 key bars, you can use a super explosive wave because they're gonna try to rush you from using the surge. People don't like it when you use the surge at all, and it's a real fun thing to fight with. So I am having a blast with this game, with what it does offer. You can tell they did work hard in the game. However, issues really come back to these mechanics. It does get boring and taxing at time to play this game, and it gets to the point where like I'm not even having fun when it comes to super counter vanishes. I have been practicing super counters too. I'm not bad at super counters, but it's not as consistent being an online game, and I hope that's something they do address and fix in the future. But as for me personally, just having to constantly do vanish wars from a super counter over and over again, it just gets exhausting. It's not fun. Even if you're playing locally, that's not fun. And I do have my brother who I play with here, and he has the games, so we play online together also, and it just gets boring after a while. Just vanish, hit, vanish, 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 and then fly away, charge, vanish, vanish, vanish. It becomes less about a game about using combos and having more fun in there. And a lot of the communities too is like, there is no such thing as combos, or other people are like, there is combos. My personal perspective is there are created combos. Anything can become a combo if you're hitting into something and then you let an ultimate go out. Is there such a thing as a true combo in this game? I don't know. There are situations where true combos, with the Vegetos I fought, with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Ultra Instinct Goku, you could combo into a Ki Blast chain and then continue the combo. So that's somewhat a true combo, or at least I would consider. But then that'll always be my other issue with this game. Oh my gosh, the mechanics when it comes to specials. When you're hitting an opponent far away, the game, for some reason, even if you open up the menu to use your specials, the game will still register you trying to hit opponents. It doesn't make any sense to me that it does that when you have the key bar, the key menu open. It's like if you were playing games, because let me start back. One of the games that I do find amazing, that to this level where I feel like I want to constantly play it, I want to get better at it, where I started out thinking that I wouldn't really like the game as much as I do now, was Naruto Storm. Naruto Storm 2 was the very first Storm game I ever played, and then I've played every single Storm game that's ever come out, and I've completely platinumed the first 4 or 5 Storm games that ever came out, and it was always great playing them. And I love the improvements they did when it came to chakra, how substitution was more of a strategic way to do it instead of just mashing the substitution button. And so that game had a lot of improvements over time, and it had an enjoyment that made me play for years. And this game, it could have that as well, but in that game, if you were to combo somebody and then use your special, like if you're about to use a level 1 special or your ultimate in that game, it would work instantly. You do a couple of hits. Now I will say the Naruto Storm Connections game that's recently come out, that one does it better, where you can actually combo into an ultimate or combo into a special. But this game, you can combo into something, and then like it depends on if you get a good knockback, sure, you can just do a special. But there are times you're comboing in this game, and then the special won't come out, and you're still either firing Ki Blast, you're swinging in midair, you're just whiffing, and then you get punished for it. It ruins the experience. It ruins a lot of things start falling apart. It's not fun that way. I do think that can be improved upon, as well as the other issue I have is when you're trying to change characters. Like if you're fighting somebody, unless you do like a hard knockback, you can try to switch characters and it sometimes will work, other times it won't. Where I'm trying to hit somebody, I do a gut punch and they're countered, and I try to transform or switch, and the game registers me doing a rush attack. What? No, that's not fun at all to deal with that. So those have been this kind of major issues with me with this game, is the connection for just how the servers have been. I remember when the game first came out, there was like some shoddy connection, and then it started working well, which I think it had so many people trying to play that it had issues with the servers, and then it was playing well. And then they did like a patch update to fix the controller issues people were having, to where if you played online with classic controls against somebody with standard controls, your buttons would be stuck to where you'd only be able to like use two, you'd only be able to use one special and then your ultimate. After the patch came out to fix that, we still have transformation issues, the character swapping issues, but then now I have also run into a lot of internet issues, and I'm not the only one who's commented on this. There's been other YouTubers who've commented on it too. It ruins the game, but there are fun moments with this game. Like right now, if you can see, you can't really hear the audio right now as I had to remove it, but I said I had to vanish this ball coming towards, because you can blast through super explosive waves and the ball comes through at a funny angle, and I'm laughing. You can't hear the audio because there were some other sensitive things in the background, but I was laughing so hard that had happened, because you could just see the ball coming through as I'm super explosive waving. So there are a lot of fun moments I do overall have with this game. Ki Blast is fun. None of the mechanics when it comes to like mashing or clashing is bad in this game. I think you lose those situations. So people have turbo controllers, whatever, you can't really prove that for everybody. But like when it comes to the mashing system or the stick spin, the dash mechanics and the combos that you can do, along with some of the hard hits and the vanishes, it can become a really fun game. It's become a repetitive thing that with the Vanish Wars, it just doesn't really make the game all too much fun. You have to go through it every time. There's not much they're gonna do about it until maybe hopefully later on this December, which was Another thing I want to talk about as a point too, if you can see the screenshot here, Twitter did announce that there is going to be a patch coming in December towards the game's mechanics. A lot of people believe super counters are going to be touched on. I believe if they are going to do super counters, one of the ways to fix it is to where it uses key for Vanish Wars from super counters. I think super counters should stay. The fact that you're getting hit from either front or back and then you can just knock somebody away from you, it does help out, because you shouldn't just be able to get away with a full combo every time in a game like this, where someone's always turning things around on the other opponent. You know, you'll see in the anime, like when it comes to Goku versus Vegeta had a lot of like back and forth between them, or Goku trying to mess with Frieza had a lot of like Goku trying to fight hard against Frieza and then Frieza having more of the upper hand. So like if they keep it in a Dragon Ball game aspect, it super counters should stay, but I think there should be an increase to how much ki is used during Vanish Wars, so not so much damage is accumulated over time. Because let's say you both have high ki, then whoever has the most ki wins the Vanish War, but then that just becomes the goal of the game is, okay, hold more ki, more Vanish War. And from a defensive perspective, that's completely fine. That's all right. You do need ki to operate in this game. It shouldn't just be free to do whatever you want. However, when it comes to constantly doing Vanish Wars, if and only during Vanish Wars, ki recovery or ki consumption was a little bit higher, it would make it a more fun experience. Because when the Vanish Wars are over, you're both trying to charge ki. I guess I kind of contradict myself then, because then we're back at the super counters. So the moment super counters happen, then you're just back in the same situation. So I don't have an entirely good thought of what could be replaced with super counters, but I think a mechanic to where you can't let somebody constantly beat on you should be in the game. Get them off you, get a good fight in, because you can do short combos too, right? You don't have to go for long little chains in the game. You can do a short one to hopefully get at the opponent, get a quick knock away, and then go for a special. Perfectly fine, understandable. But I don't know, just the way you can fight back in this game at times, it just seems really off with, and super counter seems to be a good way to get people off of you. Revenge counters is complete dog. Man, you know how many times I revenge countered, or somebody's revenge countered me, and the super perception's just like, nah, get off me, son. Or man, the worst part is you revenge counter and then someone sidesteps. I've done that. I've revenge countered someone, or they revenge countered me, and I just sidestepped their revenge counter. I was behind them and continued the same combo that I was doing previously. I could tell they definitely weren't happy, and I wouldn't be happy if that was happening to me too, where super counters are just not landing at all. So you know, all in all, the game to me overall has been an 8 out of 10. Again, graphics have been great, clashes, the battle mechanics are fun. There's just a little nitpicking issues on this game that I would prefer to make it better. And with a lot of the community leaving the game on whether it be Steam, PlayStation, and such, and especially Xbox, man, I feel bad for you Xbox users. You guys have had the worst, and it came to this and connections, Naruto Storm connections, oof. But I think this game has potential to be one of the best games out there, which brings me to my next point about this game. It is not set as a competitive fighter. It does not belong at somewhere like Evo or anything like that. And I say that more because of the current issues when it comes to the whole Vanish Wars. Can you imagine you're at Evo, you're in a crowd of people, and you're just watching the Vanish Wars go off like crazy? And it's just, you're like, oh, you're bored. I think it is cool to see super counter people when they're going back and forth in super countering. It gets cool, but then that also reaches its level of repetitive niche that's just like, okay, come on now, man, we're tired of watching these Vanish War super counters. Okay, no one's really fighting, and so it's not a competitive game. It's not. You can make it competitive because you have a competitive personality or mindset with the game, but in no way does it belong in any kind of competitive setting. It's just, it's not up there with fighters, Street Fighter. You can tell me it's up there with Tekken? Nah. Also, I've hugely gotten to Tekken 8 since the beginning of this month. And no, sorry, since the beginning of this year, since February, I've been playing Tekken 8, and that game is just so incredibly fun to me. But when it comes to Sparking Zero being competitive, no, just it is like a fun little party game. It's a fun game for blasting, which I understand, and that's exactly why I believe this game should be improved upon to make it an even more fun party game. Because right now, with the current mechanics now, even being a party game, everyone just does the same metas, the same Vanish Wars, and in any game, there's always a meta character that everybody uses to get an edge on other people. So that's not a huge issue, but it'd be cool if there was more variety in the game. One solution fix I do offer is like when you're fighting online and ranked, I believe everyone should have the exact same amount of health. If anybody disagrees with that at all and decides to comment that on here, let me know. But leave the output damage still the same for every character, but the health be the same for every character. Because if a lot of people, let's say you're using someone like Yamcha here, he only has 3 bars of health. He's fighting Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I understand he would have to fight a lot harder in order to get the victory over his opponent, but hear me out. It becomes more of a fun match seeing a low tier character versus a high tier character, both at the same amount of health, and then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta still destroys him. That's a lot more fun to watch than just watching someone who has a higher health bar and then cheaper output damage compared to the weaker character. I get it. I get they're human characters. I get why they're like losing and you know, they could never actually beat these kind of characters. I understand that. But when you're playing a game that's not just meant for offline, that is meant for online, you have to add some kind of balance to keep people in the game and keep the game fun. It's honestly, there's a difference between the community right now for people who actually complain about the game and who have fair criticisms regarding the game. And it can only get better from here if the team listens to the fair criticisms and applies the game in a way where they don't really stray from what their overall goal is, but they just improve upon it to make a much better. I am an S3 in singles and I am an A5 in DP, and that's I'm aiming for Z rank in this game, and then I don't really know if I'm going to do much more after it. Do I continue it or uninstall it? Singles is where I do take things more seriously, so you know, it's just about winning in singles to me. DP is, I think, the one that should be more like a fun mode. It is an annoying meta though, dealing with Videl players, dealing with Master Roshi, Krillin, after image strike, after image strike, after image strike. It is a plague on specials and things that do happen in that game, and I am just tired of it. But at the same time, like DP is where I have fun with it, so I focus on the fun in DP. But singles is where I do take it hardcore more, learn how to fight, super counter, vanish, sidestepping, revenge counters, perceptions, using all of that, and then just using an overpowered character. I have no qualms using Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. I have no qualms using using Jiren, because he has so much fun. I have so much fun using Jiren. He was like the main reason why I got up so high up in the ranks. And then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is also really fun to use. Now, granted, it doesn't guarantee me a victory playing these kind of characters. I have to still work hard for it. People can still get around me. How many times you fight a mirror match and I've lost? It's been insane. And speaking of losing, one of the other things I really don't like about this game is the rage quitting. I know I kind of said I was kind of done, but I do need to bring up that issue as well. Rage quitting is completely toxic in this game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a complete hypocrite with this too. I have rage quitted, and the only reason why I rage quitted is because when I am trying to rank up and I fight 3 matches, and every match immediately after I'm whooping their butt is a rage quit, I start doing it back because it just gets complete ridiculous being quit on constantly. It takes forever to find a match, first of all, with how many people have dropped off the Steam version of the game, but then you have people who are rage quitting, so you can't go any further in the game. And it's hard to enjoy the game when you're trying to rank up to Z ranks and people are just quitting on you left and right, and then you fight somebody who has a really bad internet connection, or you fight somebody who is just they're combining their bad internet connection with just spamming moves. And you know, I do take a lot of my losses. There's a lot of losses on record and a lot more losses than wins, I believe. I have a 56% win rate on the game, so it's pretty close. It's not that indifferenting, but it's like, if I'm gonna sit here losing stuff and nobody's getting punished for rage quitting as much as they are on this game, then I'm just gonna take advantage of it too. If the rage quitting had more of a penalty to it, or if I was at least still getting points for people who rage quit, I probably wouldn't care as much. But it's an unfair and unbalanced system. And the thing is too, for most games I've played, this is disgusting. I mean, I've played Naruto Storm Connections and it came out, also a major disappointment, which maybe I'll probably put a video up about my feelings regarding that, because I love Storm, but oh my gosh, Storm Connections, what the crap, developers. But going back to the main issue, in this game, it happened so much. Storm Connections, I probably had like a little of under like 10 to 15 rage quitting. In this game, being rage quitted 3 times in a row is so common when you're playing. It's ridiculous. And then people just rely on their metas the whole time, which again, understandable. I can't tell you who you're gonna play, and I can get annoyed at what you're doing when you play, but I really can't tell you who to play and how to play. I just have to figure out how to deal with it and get around it. But the disconnection rates in this game have just been ridiculous, to where I just don't feel like I am having fun anymore, because people are just disconnecting left and right on me no matter what I do in this game. Storm Connections, again, less amount of rage quits, and then mostly Tekken 8 that I've played, you can't rage quit on there because they punish you. I mean, you can rage quit, right? But they do punish you greatly in that game, where you're stuck in a pool of other rage quitters just like you. Excuse me. And they don't do that for this game. I can tell, because I'm still running the same rage quitters. And even fun fact, I wish I had the recording, but just earlier this week I fought somebody and in Storm Sparking, and he rage quitted while I was whooping him. Immediately after, his game must have loaded up, or I just must have been in the lobby long enough, but as soon as he came back to the game, he was right there again for me to fight. And so we fought again, and when beating him, guess what? He rage quitted again. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. I'm dealing with you again when you should be in a certain bracket of players. Because let me tell you, it takes a lot for me to rage quit. And I mean a lot. Like, losing over and over again, fine. But then the connection issue being dog and you're playing with that, or even lag switching on purpose, which could be clearly seen looking at your internet, and when it starts activating disconnect or a bad connection issue and when it doesn't. When you can see the clear difference, it's annoying. It's just dumbfinding those kind of people. Rage quitting is just fighting against that kind of crap. But when you're like fighting a fair battle and you're like losing an actual fairness of the game, you shouldn't get to rage quit. You should stick to the game, take your losses, because you're gonna lose. You're not always gonna win. You are going to lose in times in life, and I get it. You know, you don't want to lose in a game like this. You spend so long fighting too in this game, especially DP battles, man. That 10-minute video upload, I could not believe it was 10 minutes. But it's like you're spending so much time playing this game, so much time trying to just do different in the game, and there's so much time passes and you're just gonna lose. You're like, okay, I'm gonna rage quit. It's like that's not fair and that's not right. Okay, so I kind of realized I just rambled on a lot at the end here. So with this final say, I will just say, game is a lot of fun. Still an 8 out of 10 for me. I do just hope they fix the issues in the game that are currently going on with the rage quitting, super counter vanishes. I just hope they find some kind of way to get it fixed, and you know, the community will enjoy it from there. I will also note too, I don't have any issues with every single mechanic in this game, because I've noticed a lot of people saying too, like things like we ruin the game. That's not a fair concept when players are just using what's available in the game. It's not people's fault they can exploit it and make it weak, and it's nobody's fault that they play to win. You're playing a game. If you want to have fun, then you have to make it fun. You can't expect other people play for the game to be fun to you. You have to create the mindset to have fun no matter what you're doing. So that's just kind of my last piece towards all of this. But anyway, God bless y'all. This is Monkey D. Caleb. I'm going to be doing a bit more uploads on my channel regarding gameplay. I'm going to make this a gaming channel, and I'm pushing hard to get a good name out there, being Monkey D. Caleb. So if I see you on Ranked, nothing personal when I win, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Peace.